Hello, everyone. It's time for Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 269, season 11. Today's date is October 28th, 2023, and welcome to the program. On today's program, I'm going to do something a little different. Halloween is coming up in about 3 days, so I'd like to talk about what Chicago businesses I would like to return from the dead. And believe me, there are a lot of them. Oh, there's so many. And I'm sure everyone will agree with me. So I'll discuss first a lot of businesses. This will be a two-parter. The second part will probably be tomorrow. I'll explain the subjects later as I go down the road, what I would discuss about. And let's see. So that's probably the only subject I will talk about. So I'll get started right away. But first, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Sun Country Wine Cooler. And this commercial is from 1984, and this features actor Richard Mall. And he passed away yesterday at the age of 80. He's famous for his role as Bull Shannon on Night Court. Oh, that's so sad. You know, he was wonderful, man. I like him. And so tall. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about him after the commercial. So just sit back and relax, and I'll be right back. Thank you, everyone.
Boy, do I get tired of tall jokes. How's the weather up there? But I don't get angry anymore. I open a Sun Country wine cooler instead. You see, Sun Country's a refreshing blend of real fruit juice and premium white wine. It tastes so great I could ignore all the wisecracks. Sun Country. Say, give me the real juice cooler. Next time you hear, could you please move? You're blocking the sun. Open a Sun Country. If that doesn't do it, squash them like a grape.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Sun Country Wine Cooler. I did a podcast episode a while back about wine coolers in the 1980s. Sun Country was included, also California Cooler, a Seagram's wine cooler featuring Bruce Willis. Remember those ads. But Sun Country Wine Cooler, I've had that. It had it was pretty good. They feature commercials, not just him, but I remember with Ringo Starr of the Beatles. You know, and other celebrities did that. But I remember Richard Mall doing this one particularly. And did I say particularly? Yeah, particularly that one. Sorry. So I was sad when he passed away because I used to watch Night Court in the 80s on NBC, WMAQ TV, Channel 5 in Chicago. It was that big powerhouse Thursday night schedule. You had The Cosby Show, Family Ties, you had Cheers, you had Night Court, and Hill Street Blues. Later on, LA Law came later. And then Family Ties left, and then Different World came. So that was a powerhouse schedule. You know, very... ratings were phenomenal. And then it died down around like in the early 90s, like 91, 92, and that was it. Gone. And as for Richard Mall, he did other things. You know, he was he was about 6'8". And he did a lot of television. He was on Happy Days. I remember him on Laverne and Shirley. He played like an escaped convict. You know, he was handcuffed to Shirley Feeney. It was hilarious. Also, he was in the movie, he played the Abominable Snowman in the movie Caveman. was pretty good in that. Uh, Also, Mork and Mindy, which he starred with alongside John Larroquette. They were in together. Yeah, you gotta check that out. Yeah, so and then later on, he was famous for his role on the Batman, the animated series, the cartoon series that premiered in 1992. He played Two Face. He played Harvey Dent. He was Harvey Dent, the lawyer. He had a normal voice, and then an accident happened, and then he turned into Two Face, and he went, very evil, very nasty guy, like that. And he flipped a coin. He was good in that. I loved it, And so that's a shame. When the Night Court returned to be rebooted, John Larroquette returned, but the others have passed away. I know Roz returned, for a guest spot, but I think they were going to ask Richard Mall to come, but now he can't. So that's sad. That really is sad. So I want to make a correction. He did not die yesterday. He died on October 26th. So it was Thursday. Okay. At the beginning of the program, I said I was going to discuss what Chicago business I would like to return from the dead. Before I get started, I'll mention a couple things. One, today is Ohi Day. This is a holiday celebrating. It's a Greek holiday, and it means no. This is when around October. This happened on October 28th, 1940, where the Greek prime minister made an ultimatum to Italian dictator Benito Mussolini, and they were going to counterattack. And then, so they said no, and that was like during the Axis occupation of this area. It was on the mountains of Pindos, and it was during the Greco-Italian War. So my mom told me about this. She was a young girl at the time, and she witnessed death, and it was horrible. And because the Nazis invaded her village and all that, and yeah, she gets very sad about that. So I don't bring it up, unless she likes to discuss it. But anyway, they made that a holiday, and they celebrated by parades. You wear the traditional Evzone costumes, that, and it's like ohi means no. I never wore a costume when I was in Correas, not in elementary school. I never wore that, but I recited poetry. I remember that. I forgot what I recited, and it's a very important day, in Greece. That is, it's a big deal. So we have to commemorate that day. Remember the people that fought in the war, and we lost family members. Yeah, it's very sad. It really is. But so it's that's very nice. I love seeing parades when they celebrate that, and even like little kids dress up in costumes, holding the Greek flag. Oh, they're adorable. Okay. A second thing I want to talk about before I get started, very briefly. I'm sorry. Yesterday was my second anniversary of being cancer-free from prostate cancer. You're cancer-free, but you're not really 100% cured. I just want to make that statement. I mean, you have to keep fighting, and you take medications. But for me, I still have the spot on the rib, but according to my oncologist, it's probably nothing really. I have to see him in February just to be sure, but I guess I'm doing all right. I'm still taking my medications. There was a big lull. I stopped in around August on one of them, the Xtandi, because there was something with the insurance and it was a mess. And I had to wait about a month and a half, but I'm okay now. So I resumed that. The Orgovix, the other one, I'm still taking. I'm doing fine. I will go to my regular doctor Monday. and we'll see what happens. Probably take a blood test. I'm scared. I hope the PSA don't go up very high. I hope not, because we'll see what happens. And then I will go to my urologist November 29th, right after Thanksgiving, and do for a checkup and see what he says. So far, yeah, like I'm doing okay. And then I posted on social media. I told people, you know, about that, and they're very happy. But you just live one day at a time. Every day is beautiful. When I get up in the morning, and thank God I'm alive. So got to keep fighting this terrible disease. We've lost so many people, celebrities, family members, and all that. Cancer is really bites. It really does. So, okay, so now I will start with the show. I will talk about the Chicago business. I would like to return from the dead. This is a Halloween episode, so this is in two parts. So today I'm going to talk about department stores. Of course, the one we miss the most is Marshall Fields. Everybody misses Marshall Fields, and they do to this day, because of their excellent customer service, their wonderful products. The store on State Street, it's Macy's now, but it's not the same. The Walnut Room's still there. The Frangos are there, but a lot of people have said, it's not the same. They always keep saying it's not the same. They're so. Who knows if it come back? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm hoping. People are still protesting. There's like groups that would like the name return. The other some time ago, someone showed they were in the Macy's store downtown, and they had Marshall Field bags on display. Is that a good sign? Maybe. We don't know. But I would like that store to return. I remember when I was little, my mom took me there. Maybe around the holidays, you have the window displays. The Christmas, which was beautiful, with Uncle Mistletoe. And, the toy department was magical. Magical, and you have the Walnut Room. Walnut Room's still there, but, and the big giant Christmas tree that's up tall like that. So anyway, that's another store I would like to return. Also, I would like another department store. Well, a lot of people from the north side would not know, but on the south side do or did was Gately's People Store. That was located on East 112th Street and South Michigan Avenue in the Roseland neighborhood. I lived on that street, and that store was beautiful. Everyone loved that store. Had about 3 or 4 floors. Remember the first floor, they had the watches, like school uniforms, and they had a cafeteria there. The second floor, I think, was clothes, and I think the third floor had appliances, TV sets, washing machines, dishwashers, and but on the lower level was the grocery store. My mom shopped there all the time, and there was a toy department, very small toy department, and also the famous donut machine where you watch the donuts being made right in front of your eyes. And that is a beautiful memory for a child like me to watch that, and they come out all piping hot. That's a beautiful memory. I wish that would come back. I wish it would. Other stores I would like to come back, for example, Weebolts. Like Weebolts to come back. It was a great store, and it was between Marshall Fields and Carson Peary Scott. Carson Peary Scott, I would like to come back because it's a little cheaper than Marshall Fields, but quality was top notch. Weebles was like in the middle, but it was still great. It was still a wonderful store, I visit the one downtown mostly, but I visit the one at Ford City Mall on the southwest side of Chicago, right in my old neighborhood. And I would go visit there and do that. And that one I would like to return. I really would like that. Let's see. Other ones, like for example, Carol's Red Hanger Shop. I think there's one downtown, but I like the original one. They had great clothes, ties, like that. Litton's. That was a great clothing store. Wonderful. Wonderful. Also, Sears I like to return, like back in the old days, but then it just, customer service went, it was later on. But I'm talking about the classic Sears, like in the 60s and the 70s, that type of Sears, where you had the catalog, where you had the optical department. You would have the, what else they had at Sears? They had a driving school. They had that too. And Kenmore products. They still sell Kenmore on Amazon or elsewhere. Good, sturdy products. Or let's see what else. So that I like Sears to return. There are a few around, not in Chicago. No, they're all gone like that. Also like Woolworths to return. That was a great five and dime store. You pick up like remember the Halloween costumes I bought, or buy some candy. But some listen to music over there. I like that too. That was great. It really was. Let's see. Also, Kresge's. That was predecessor to Kmart. Kmart I would like to come back, but I would like Venture to come back. Venture, yeah, but Kresge's, I liked Kresge's when I was a kid. Remember the snow cone machine, and I bought the Peanuts paperback books. They had the hot dogs up front. This was in Roseland, in the Roseland neighborhood in Chicago. Yeah, but Venture, I wanted to come back because it was so colorful and they had everything you wanted, and it was a good store. It really was. The one I went to was at. There were two locations. One was at Fort City. It took over Turnstile. That's another store I would like to return. Also, it was on 95th Street in Cicero, in Oakland. I would like that. Okay, and let's see. What other department store I want to return? Well, I'll think of something. Montgomery Ward. Yeah, I would like that too. And so right now, I'll talk about this real quickly. I would like bookstores to return. Like, for example, Crocs and Bertano's, the one located on Wabash. Is it street or avenue? I forget. It's 29 South Wabash Avenue in downtown Chicago. That store was one of my favorites. I loved it. I loved browsing in it, buying stuff. It was wonderful. I wish it would return. I wish it would come back. Also, there was B. Dalton, Walden Books, and Borders. Thank God we have Barnes and Nobles. It's still around. I don't know if it's hanging by a thread, but it's still there. Thank God, because I love going to a bookstore. I like to browse. I like to sit down and read like that. So it's kind of cool. Let's see what else. Also Crown Books. It was okay. Crown Books. They had them very discounted. But they had any book you want, really, or you can order it. The same thing with Crocs and Bertanos. If there wasn't a book that wasn't there, they would find it for you. They would do a search, not an internet search, but they would do a search and look for it like that. Okay. Right now, I'm going to take a break. And when I come back, I will talk about a little more subjects. Yeah, more subjects, that is. Excuse me. I'm going to play another commercial featuring Richard Mall, and this is for Yes Laundry Detergent. This is from 1986. And when I come back, I'll talk about a little bit about the product, and then I will continue with the show. Okay. Thank you, everyone.
Boy,
Uh-huh.
Eek. You have a laundry detergent that cleans and softens.
Yes.
It really cleans and softens?
Yes.
Does it control static cling?
Yes.
Pour it right on stains?
Yes.
Works in all temperatures?
Yes.
What is it?
Yes.
Oh, it's called Yes.
Yeah.
Well, where is it?
We're all out.
Manager?
Can one detergent really do all that? The answer is
Yes.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial featuring Richard Mall again on Yes Laundry Detergent. This was from 1986. They don't make this product anymore. I think it discontinued like 1989, early 90s, like that. You sounded so funny. You can find these on YouTube if you'd like. And right now I'm going to continue. Let's see what I should talk about. Right now, I'll talk about amusement parks and grocery stores. We'll talk about amusement parks first. One amusement park a lot of people would like to return from the dead is Riverview. Riverview is the most talked about subject on my Facebook page, Van Chicagoland. I tried not to post all the time, but some people do when I approve it. But I try to make it even out. But if I find a photo that I've never seen before, I will post it. Something very unique, like that, something cool. I would do that. But Riverview, I never went there. It closed in 1967. Officially in October. I was 3 years old. I was about 4. I was 4 years old, so I was too young, even remember it. But as I got older, I remember hearing about it. Never gave a second thought. And then one day, when I was doing Van Chicago, I decided to make a video of Riverview Park. I got some pictures. Had some permission. I had permission from a person who wrote a book about it, and I'm glad. I almost forgot, but thank you anyway. And so I compiled all the photos, made a video, and it was one of the best videos I made, and I love it. And it was also presented on WGN TV Channel 9, and it's still there on YouTube if you care to watch. And I'm fascinated by the history. The history, I can't get over it. I bought a couple books. I still read them. I want to learn more about that, how it got started, why it closed, what rides were there, what attractions. Oh, it's wonderful. It really was. And that one I like to return. Like I said, come back from the dead. Also, other amusement parks is Kittyland. I've never been to Kittyland, but I liked it to come back. Yeah, people would. Also, Adventureland, Playland, which I went to. That's in Hickory. Excuse me, Willow Springs or Bridgeview. It's on 79th Street, west of Harlem. I went there a couple of times. Yeah, that was exciting. With the big Bozo sign, like that. And there were others. They want to come back, but Riverview, they want that returned. I don't blame them. I really don't. Okay. Let's see. I can't think of any other amusement parks that would like to return. I think that's about it, really. So right now, I'll talk about grocery stores. We know Jewel is still around, of course. But Dominic's went out of business a few years ago. We'd like to come back. It's sort of come back in a way. We have Mariano's and we have Dom's. But we want the old Dominic's back. People miss it. Also, Hilo Foods. That's what that was around in the excuse me. So we have the 10-cent cans up front. You had the Hilo Flyer, the red wagon. My mom used to shop at the one in South Shore on East 75th Street a lot, and it was a great store, a great grocery store. Also, National, like National, come back. They had great products, and also A&P. That I want to return because they had the 8 o'clock coffee. It's still around, but I forgot who owns it. But I don't know if it's the same. But I remember the coffee grinder and by the checkout lines, those red contraptions that grinds your coffee. And they also had products from Ann Page, Jane Parker, and E&Ps were everywhere. They really were. Also, Eagle Foods. Remember that? Let's see what else. Other grocery stores. Pretty much that's it. I get on the top of my head. I'm sure there are so many like that. But there was one grocery store I remember. It was called the Colony. It was called Colony Foods. It was in Hometown, Illinois, near our old neighborhood. My mom shopped there all the time. It was a good store. There was one on 63rd Street near Gansett, right around there. And I'm sure there was another one, but that was cool. It really was, and it was a great grocery store like that. Okay. Also, the last thing I'll talk about is record stores, which I like to come back. Everyone wants that. Musicland, Camelot Music. You have like the one Cruising Music near where I used to go to Bogan High School, right across the street. Let's see what else. There were others. Record store. There was there was Peaches, Rose Records. All of them I want to return. I really would. That would have been great. Tower Video. Well, Tower Records is sort of back, kind of like that. It's online, but they had a great selection. CDs and videos and all that. But those little ones, those independent record stores, they were the best. They were the best indeed. Like that. Okay. So that's it for part one. So the next episode, I will talk about, probably about movie theaters and another subject. We'll get to that soon. I'm sure I'll think of something else to discuss. Probably movie theaters or also like events, or like TV shows, like Chicago local TV shows. That would be a cool subject for part 2. Yeah, so we'll see. All right. So this is the end of episode 269 of Air Chicagoland Stories, the podcast. Once this podcast is published, it'll be available where podcasts are available. Excuse me. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, also Breaker, Overcast. Also, it's on my blog, www.vanishchicagoland.blog. Also on my YouTube channel. You can search, subscribe. You'll get notified for a new episode. People still ask me, where do I find your podcast? You can find it there. It's much easier. You can listen, you can watch. Mostly you can listen or on your phone, on your laptop, on your desktop, your tablet, anywhere. Also, will be posted on my social media accounts, Facebook, X, Reddit, Instagram, and Threads. You can highlight and listen to that. Okay. So I will do the next podcast episode. I will continue with part 2, probably tomorrow or Tuesday. We'll see. Probably tomorrow, I would think. If I do it tomorrow, that would be the end of the 2-part series. But Tuesday, I will do a Halloween episode. Something very special. Something fun. And I have something in mind. So you would love to listen to that. Okay. So this is Pete Costanish, your host for Van Chicagoland Stories. Thank you for joining me. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. I don't think it's going to rain. So, but it'll be kind of cool. It's October's ending, so so it's fall. Okay, so here's bye bye for me, and here's Ray Rayner with a little traveling music saying bye bye bye. Take care, everyone, and so long.
We have to go. Bye bye bye.